Hello everyone. In our today's video, we're going to create this shopper's e-commerce website. For the front end, we're going to use the Next.js to just showcasing the data and building the entire page, by which we are going to use that Tailwind CSS for styling, and for our product data and also regarding that banner and others, we are going to use that as Sanity CMS, where we can upload the product, upload the banner category and so on, and also we can just add it and do whatever the way it feels better. And for our backend structure like database, to just keep our orders to save in particular ratio, we're gonna use that Firestore database. And for the payment method also, we're going to use that our favorite one, which is that Stripe payment. So let's see how it's gonna work. First, this is the home page, and we have our header with particular button and tabs. Then we have our banner sections where we can showcase whatever the availability is. Now even from the shop you can get all the products, and as you see, once I'm just moving through the pages, the loader button is coming from the global loaders. And if I just go in a single product, I can add product from here. I can see the particular tab section here, which we can also add from here. Let's go back to the shoppers, add 2-3 more products. And now what we can do, let's go in the cart, and inside the cart we have the option to delete the product. We have option to increase the quantity, decrease the quantity. Like we cannot quantity decrease less than 1, but we can reset our entire cart from here. So let's just go and try to add some more product and to make a payment. Then let's see how it gonna react. And let's click on buy now, and that's the side menu bar. From here also we can just go and toggle through. As soon as we just go down here, we have the option to apply coupon, and also after applying we can update our cart. Then here is the cart totals. We have the subtotal amount for 4618.98. we have no discount yet, and for the total of 4618.98 we cannot make that proceed to checkout because we need to sign in to make the checkout. We can just click on the sign in. As you see, we have a multiple method. We have OAuth sign in, we have credential sign in. So I'll go for the OAuth. Okay, after signing in, I am landing in my home page again. So if I click on the cart now, as you see, now I can make the payment for the Stripe payment. As you see, I'm just using that one with the live link, by which we need to deploy that too. So after finishing that build, we are going to deploy that entire project, which going to work live properly. And by the way, this full project going to build in TypeScript, and also for a super responsive. As you see, even you just shuffle through to the different devices, it will work perfectly. So let's just go and try to create a payment. Previous payment section is 20620, and also here, as you see, if I just roll back to my order data, so that's my previous order until I have how many orders here from that account? 1 order. So if I just go in that order section, I should be able to see 1 order data. As you see, that's my previous order. If I click on show details, I can see the details about the item name, price, quantity and subtotal. The all total is amount here, the payment status is here. I can delete the order, I can hide the order. Let's just keep it there, we'll delete later. First, to pay 1 more, to proceed to checkout, and after clicking, it will just take us to the Stripe integrated page. So let's from here put the dummy number for the Stripe payment. Okay, 123 and name, enter pay. So after paying, what it gonna do, it gonna take us to the success page. It gonna save our order to the database, and then it will also empty our cart. So now if I roll back to my orders, it should be 2 orders there, as you see. So 4618 is already available there. If I just reload here, we should be able to see our new orders popping up. Also, I'm gonna keep as you see, that one already available, no need to make a reload. Okay, cool, 4618, and as you see, 4618. So this one, you can say, you can make it ascending or descending just to go through to keep whatever, because whatever is previously is coming at the top. So you can just make it to new one at the top, so no worries about that. So now we have the details, we have the other properties, so everything is good, and we have our products here. We can now see our available products here. Now I want to delete one. I will delete one. As you see, as soon as I click, it just deletes. So now we can see the details. Whatever the purchase I have been done is available here, and everything from there is working cool. So now I can add products, I can upload my banner, which I'm showcasing the banner. I can modify the category. There is a lot of option there. I'm just showcasing whatever you need to go through to start and building the project. You can go and make it more enthusiastic, make it more reliable, and make it some more changes by which it can be feel much better and much fresher than that. So rather than that, let's just go and start building our application. And how we can do that? We're going to build our application using Next.js, and we are going to use the latest one by which we will be able to get the turbo build. So that's the best thing of this build. It's the first time we're using turbo build when it's stable. So from the documentation, I will go with the getting started and installation. Here, as you see, Node.js 18.18. Previously it was 18.17. So how you can check that if you have the Node.js installed in your local machine? So I'll just open my terminal. In my build folder, you need to also take an empty directory or folder within your app computer, and then I'm gonna just check that if I have that Node mod version. I just said 20.15, so I'm good to go. And also if I have the Node mod like a Node.js, I have by default npm embedded within my application, so I can start building our application. And to start with, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just grab that simple command, or you can type also. It's a very simple npx create should be next, as you see, and should be app, and we'll go with the latest flag, and I'm gonna give a name, so it will be the shoppers YT. If you doesn't give the provide the name, it's gonna ask you below. As you see, it's gonna go with like that, and the pop-up is some of the changes, not that much changes. Just one is added. As you see, it's the turbo pack is added right now. Okay, I will say yes, and after saying yes, it will just prefetching everything, then it gonna start building. So as you see, TypeScript, of course we want to build that, because any e-commerce website is better to have TypeScript, because in e-commerce multiple person can work, there can be having problem with the type prefection, so better to use TypeScript. And SLint, yes. Tailwind CSS, so default configuration fine for me, it will work perfectly. Okay, source directory, I love to use that. App router, of course app router, and turbo pack. Now this is not this actually in production mode, so you can use that, so no offense on that. And input aliases, no. So now as you see, it's gonna build entire thing like a dummy application, or like for a new application by which we can start building our project. So give it a time, take your coffee, and let us build entire thing by itself. So everything got installed and our project is ready to go. So if I put ls, you can see the list of things here where the shoppers YT is created. If I roll back to my directory also, I can see there is one application or folder or directory is created. If I go inside on that, I can open it using that this open with code, but also I can open it from here to write that special command code space dot. So I think one thing we messed up, because it will not go within like that, because as you see, shoppers YT, we are not within that project. So let's go in cd into shoppers -YT. Now if I open with code dot, it will open directly. Now we are in the root project, so you need to be careful to see if you are within the root project or not. Otherwise, whenever you're going to run the application, you're gonna have facing some more problem, because you will miss up the root directory. So now from here, we're gonna use our git bash to start our application. And to start it, as you see, if we just visit in the package.json, there's slight change which is going to be working with the turbo pack. In the previous, like before, like nowadays we are here in the 15.0.2. previously it was not there. So as you see, the React DOM and React, you're using both in RC mode. So release candidate is there. I think pretty soon it's gonna also release perfectly. So now to run that application, as we use the npm, I'm gonna just make the command npm run dev. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna start spinning my application in localhost 3000. As you see in the localhost, and ready, just open that. So by using the turbo, they said it could be much faster loading. So means the compiling, it will be faster than webpack. So let's go here and see. Wow, it's a bit faster, because previously it was not like that. You need to wait for a loading instances. Now feel free to just go around and see the changes, how you can go also make the manual installation, and you can see here the project structure, how the top level folders going to be aligned, how the top level files going to be aligned, and also app routing conventions. Most of the time we are loved using, someone is doing that, it's proven good and we are using it. But it's better to have you come here and then try to read something, that how it can really figure it out, how actual native UI is built. So if you're just going to make structurized, as you see, we are mostly using the page loading and layout and not found error. So as you see, this global layer you can use so many way. There is a lot of things to just to go and memorize. So the nested routes also here, dynamic routes. So all the single combination is defined here. So feel free to come here, and you can also toggle through that pages router or app router. You can also toggle through with the stable version. You can go with the kernary, or you can go all the stable versions if you feel free. So I'm gonna close it now. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start building our application. And first thing first, I'm gonna just go over in the source directory. Within the app, I have this our fonts directory here. I have the global CSS. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove those styles, because I don't want any predefined styles here. As you see, the background color is just go. So in that page.tsx, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna remove everything, because I don't want to use any dummy format. Here I'm gonna take another div, and I'm gonna take a p tag, should be shoppers eCommerce website. Also this import not required. Okay, see, shoppers eCommerce website is there. What is that? A static route. Oh, it's okay. I think I'm gonna close that, not requiring. So now we can start building our entire application. And how we gonna build? As you see, we have our header. Then because in the header we have no dependency using Sanity, because this product, this all the data is coming from Sanity. Also this product is coming from Sanity, but this one is static, the one which we are building. So first we're gonna build the header, then we're gonna connect our Sanity, and then slowly we're gonna use other parameter, because within that project we use a lot of other features, because we're going to use the Redux toolkit for state management. We're going to use the Sanity image URL, Sanity vision, Firebase Admin, Framer motion, NextAuth to create the authentication, and also hot toast icon. So many things we are going to use, and also for the parsers, I forget to tell you. So to build our header in infrastructure, as you see, in the source directory, I'm gonna take a different folder, or you can say the directory name, which will be components. And within the components, I'm gonna take a file name header.tsx. I'm gonna write a simple snippet rafce to create our header. By instance, this import is not required. So to create like that, you need to install that ES7 plus React Native snippet, I believe. Yes, that one. That's the one you need to install in your Visual Studio Code. Only then you can use the rafce. So it will just create a functional component for you with a very very slick snippet. So here, what I'm gonna do, because header and footer, it will be available for all the pages, right? So I'm gonna keep header here at the layout, and you'll see headers is available here. And also I'm gonna change something in this section, because I want it to showcase the title. Should be shoppers eCommerce website. Okay, we can just also change the description here, you can feel free to put the one you prefer for education purposes. Done. Now we're gonna start working, but before starting there, we also need to configure some of the Tailwind config, because here that theme color, I don't want to use that, so I'm gonna remove it, and I'm gonna use some of my colors which I prefer. It will be this color, light orange color, so that's the color code. Dark orange, light text, accent, which going to be black, or accent white, which going to be the white color, light red, and light green, BG light. So that's the, I think that's the 7 colors I'm gonna use throughout my entire build. And also you can go through with that, as you see the pages, router, components, app. So this one I'm not using, you can delete it or you can keep it as the way you prefer. Okay, now in the header we have properly 3 sections. One is the logo, one is the search input, one is our other parameter. So we're gonna need to have a 3 component, not 3 components, so it will be 3D particularly. So I'm gonna take a header. Within that header I'm gonna have into 3, so that should be 3 deep. One, it will be for logo, and another it will be for search input, and another it will be for, I think it can be neighbor list. So these 3 data is going to come up, so logo, search input, neighbor list. So for the header we're gonna just combine some of the class name, which going to be, it gonna take full width by default, it also gonna take full width. Height, I'm gonna give a static height of 20. I'm gonna give a BG of accent white, should be the white color, and also I'm gonna provide a border bottom which going to be 1 pixel, and I'm gonna make a border bottom which going to be border bottom should be light text. As you see, we have a bottom border. Also here I'm gonna reduce the opacity a bit so you can see it perfectly. So I'm gonna make the opacity of 50%. See, the slight border is appearing here. And here what I'm gonna do, especially here, as you see, there is a maximum width ratio is coming, and all the pages and all the components is maintaining that ratio, right? Like if I want to use it in the product card, I need to maintain also that ratio. So everywhere I need to manually type that whatever the ratio I want. So instead of doing that, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna create a global component. We can say it as a container .tsx rfce. So what the work for this container? This container going to hold our entire things, and this container gonna take 2 properties, 2 parameter, or you can say the props. One, it will take the children which are going to be react node parameter, and then it's gonna take also 1 parameter which going to be class name, which not mandatory, but whenever it's appearing it's gonna be as a string format. So we can take the children, and also we can take the class name, and we can define the property of props, not property, the type of props. So within the div it's gonna render the children, so whatever you put inside of it, it's gonna render directly. And we're gonna define some class name, but not like that. We're gonna go up with some of the case scenario. So for that I'm gonna go with that npmjs.com, and here I'm gonna type Tailwind merge. So you're gonna use that one to just combine our class name so it will not get in clash. So first it's gonna take 1 parameter, then it's gonna take the separate parameter. So I'm gonna copy that, and I'm gonna take another git bash, because the first one is running my terminal, my project, so it's better to have the second one to install all the packages. It will work parallelly, so no worries about that. How the Tailwind merge it will work? So first we need to import it. Okay, we got imported that. Then how we gonna configure? After importing, you see it's gonna take 2 parameters. First one is the combined one, the default one, whatever you want to show in default. Then you're gonna need to provide that second parameter. By second parameter is it will reflect first. So, did you remember whenever you're using Bootstrap, especially you are making some important notes, so that effect gonna apply first. So the second parameter, it will take that important parameter. So if I come over here, put a class name, not a string, I'm gonna put the curly braces, and then the TW march here, I'm gonna say max width should be screen axle. And how much is the screen axle? If you just hover on it, 1280. So you see, whenever I'm writing something, it's also suggesting, right? MX Auto, you see. So that's, if you want to use that one, you need to also install that Tailwind CSS IntelliSense. So that's the package. It's pretty super cool. So you don't need to remember all the names and other parameter. It will just show and pop up the right classes for you. So, and also I'm going to provide a padding X of 4. Now how it going to work? So we need to keep it somewhere, right? So I'm going to go within the header, and instead of that div, not that div is okay. So I'm going to wrap everything with our container, import it, and then use it. As soon as I did that, as you see, if I just also go and showcasing some of the background, so make BG red of 200, you see the background which is having that maximum width. So it's pretty cool, and it's going to work in a perfect way. Let's go in the header, and I think, yeah, height is 20, but it's not properly taking the height because it's not getting the height of the parent, right? So how we can, because this is height is 20, right? So even though if we just make it flex, like flex, as you see, now it's not taking the parent height, but not everywhere it's gonna take the parent height. Somewhere, whenever we are going to give some style, so we need to send the style from the parent, right? And how we can send that? So over here, put a class name. We want that height should be full and BJ should be red, okay? And we're gonna make it flex just to see. Right now it's not taking anything, but in the container, we have that parameter, the class name. So what I'm gonna do after that, put a comma, put the class name. Remember the important flag, it's gonna give us that power to use that class name first. So now if I go in the header, as you see, no need to use that. I can see it's working. Flex, cool. And also going to provide some of the more class name to make it appearing more promising. And what it could be, it could be let's say item center, justify should be between. I'm going to give a gap of 5, and whenever it LG, gap should be 10. You see, we have 3 parameters. So logo is there, search input is there, navbar list is there. So logo and navbar list should be having a particular gap, but the search input going to take the entire screen. Also in the page, it's better to have that container done. You see, it's in the middle. So now we can go and start building our header section properly. So as you see, the first one is the logo. So instead of creating an image, we can directly gonna combine a logo.tsx to get our logo flag. So here I'm gonna just bring up our logo. So we have our logo. So in the logo, we're gonna match something, like we're gonna provide some of the class name. Now this logo going to be a maximized perfect logo because we can combine it, we can give some of the class name, we can make a proper arrangement. Because see here, we put some logo, we can also change the logo here. So if I put somewhere else, so it depends how we can combine it. So if I go back here, instead of that div, I'm gonna put an h2 tag and say shoppers. Go here, you see the shoppers. I'm gonna just okay, put a class name which is going to be, let's say again we're gonna use the TW march. So TW march here, it's going to be text should be 2XL, and also text should be accent, which is going to be the black color. And then hover, oops, we are just out of there. Hover text should be dark orange, and inline flex we're gonna provide inline flex, and not, sorry, it will not be inline flex, it will be there. Font should be bold, and we're gonna make it as uppercase. Okay, cool, we're getting the design. And for that, we're gonna make also whenever it's hovering option is there, as you see it's hovering but pretty fast, but we don't want that one to be fast. We're gonna create a combined properties, should be I think in the layer of components, we're gonna take a class name, should be hover effects, and that hover effect we're gonna put at apply, and we're gonna make a duration of 300 and easy in out, should be easy in out. So whenever we're gonna keep that hover effect, it gonna just provide us that hover effect scenario. So let's go in the header, on the logo we're gonna just provide that hover effect, so slightly in, slightly out. And whenever we're gonna click on that particular image, it should be take us to the home page. So we're gonna wrap that entire things with a link parameter, and that link is actually an anchor tag. If you hover over it, see property href is missing. Property href should be taking us always in the home route. So what is the link? Link is same aliases on the same anchor tag which you use in the React. So now if we click one here, it will always take us to the home page. But here is one more thing, whenever we hover, there is something is coming from the left to right, so we're gonna create that. To create that one, we will make it as a relative, because whatever we're gonna create, we're gonna make it an absolute positioning. So I will take a self-closing span tag, put a class name, should be absolute, and from the left it will be 0, and from the bottom it going to be 0, and width going to be full, height going to be px, should be the 1px height, and put a background color of dark orange. And you see it's already available, but we don't want it to be seen here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make minus translate x should be 110%, so that it will not also collapse in that right ratio. See, it's just there. So I think 0.5 it will be fine. Okay, so now whenever I'm gonna hover on that particular properties, so that I can grab is that as a name of group. So now I can write something. Whenever we're gonna hover, not hover, whenever in the group, I'm gonna make the hover translate x should be 0, and also I'm gonna make that hover effect ratio, and then we're gonna also make that transition should be transform. Okay, if I click, you see, cool, but I don't want anything to go out from here to be visible, so overflow should be hidden. Now if I hover, but it's very fast, which is not so good. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna provide my different class name. So I think it should work. The hover effect, transition, the transform, I'm gonna close that transform. Okay, cool. Yeah, I think the same ratio. So we got our logo, and after the logo we need also to have another parameter, which for the search input parameter, search input dot tsx. So now we will bring that search input within our this over there, so it will be search input. You see the search input. Now for the search input, we need to also configure that, because it's gonna combine the entire space. It will just leave the space for that and for that, but others all it gonna take. As you see, it's gonna just hold up everything. So how we can combine that one? To combine it, let's go in the search input. First thing first, I'm gonna take within that in empty braces, okay? And after that, I'm gonna take a div, and within that div, I'm gonna put an input flag. The type should be text. The placeholder, I'm gonna make that a search products ... So let's see. You see the search product is available. We're gonna make something good arrangement for that. I'm gonna provide a full width. I'm gonna provide by default it's going to be hidden, because we need to also write the use cases for that making the responsive UI. So by default in the smaller screen it's gonna be hidden. Whenever we're gonna go in MD, it should be inline flex, and should be the flex 1 to take the entire space, and height going to be 12, and text should be base, and I'm gonna make all, I think text center no need to require right now, and yeah, enough I think. Also if I put a bg of red, let's see, As you see the background color of red, because it's not showing here because we have the text input. So now we're gonna keep the text input in a perfect ratio. So class name, it's gonna take the flex 1, so it's gonna roll up entire space. As you see now, entire space is my text input. Good. So this one is not required right now, we can configure it later. So it will be flex 1, height should be full, and also outline should be none, and then background color should be transparent. Placeholder text should be placeholder should be light text, or you can also combine after placeholder, provide that text ratio. Okay, and after that we're gonna put a border which going to be 1 pixel, and then we will also make that border of accent color, but we're gonna provide a 30% of opacity, so you can see the border is available here, the same like that. And after border we will also make that rounded should be small, and that for the padding left should be 8, padding right should be 28, so that we can provide a 2 images here. One is that one is that one. So first we need one image. So for the image we are going to use that another package which for that React icons. You can use the anyone you like, so no worries about that. So I'm going to go in the React icons, and for the installation I need to copy this code here. So copy that, and in my terminal I'm going to just paste it. And how can you use that? If I just search for a search icon, see the multiple section scenario. If you want to use that, you just need to copy that import section, and here at the top you need to import it, and to use it you just need to pass it here with the name. That's it. As you see, we have one particular parameter for the search. So now what I'm gonna do, because all search things it gonna be appearing here, so I'm gonna make it as a relative so that I can make other things as an absolute parameter. Put a class name, text should be LG, it's gonna make it a little bit larger text, and then I'm gonna make it an absolute. From the left it's going to be 2.5, from margin top should be 0.5, and then text should be light orange. As you see, okay, good. I think for margin top, is it all right? I don't think so. Yeah, is it all right? It's all right, but I can make it I think 12, right? So for the 12 I think 3 should be fine. 3.5. okay, cool. Or we can just simply go and 4 and it will be perfect. You see, cool. And after that we need to provide another one which is that search text, and where we gonna provide, we're gonna keep it here. We're gonna make a button properties which the name as SERCH, search. As you see, that button is aligned here. Also what we're gonna do to make it properly aligned, we're gonna make the background color for that light orange. Text should be accent white, and also whenever we can make it as absolute, right should be 0. Okay, so it will be entirely in the right side. And then for the padding X, putting the 3.5, and for the padding Y should be 1.5, and then margin right I'm gonna put 1.5, so it's gonna just hit a bit of a stretch together. And then we're gonna make it a text of a small text, and whenever we're gonna hover, background color should be the dark text, and we will make that scenario hover effect. So let's see if it's working or not. Yeah, it's working. And also we're gonna make that font should be medium, and I think from the top we're gonna make it as 2. Yeah, I see, it's perfect. So if I write something, so now whenever I'm gonna writing that one, I want some like if you go here write something, you can delete, right? So that properties we need to provide. So to do that, we're gonna take one parameter should be const, which is going to be search, and then set search value is equal to, we're going to use that use state hook. By default it's going to be empty. Whenever you're going to use making the use state hook, we need to use that use client flag. That's why we roll up the header in the different way, because here in the search input only people gonna search something, so the client interactivity only going to be affected in search input. So only what do you want, we want to make that component that use client, not our entire header to be an use client flag, right? So now what we can do is, there first thing first, we're gonna make an on change, like on change effect on change, and we're gonna take the parameter of set search should be e.target.value, and the value should be also the search value, and we are going to just reload it, it's gonna just disappear. We are going to make, whenever we're gonna have a search value, and we are combining one IOMD close icon, and how it going to be reflect, the text should be accent of 50, and then whenever we hover, text should be light red, and also it gonna take that hover effect, and after that the cursor should be, pointer should be absolute, and right should be 20. From the top it going to be 4. Okay, if I write something, you see that's the one we created. Now whenever we click on that, and from the right, I think we can also make 24, maybe 20 is okay. And what we can do also, whenever we click, it should be deleted, right? So what we can do, so to make that deleted on click, should be set search should be empty. So go over here, click, gone, click, gone. So that's the way it created. So now our search input is fine right now, and after that we're gonna have a navbar list. So to do that, we need to create a navbar list, then we need to align that one particularly. So in the navbar list, we can add some more class names, like some more classes, the list data, right? And to combine that, what I'm gonna do, within this parameter of the components, I'm gonna take another not components, in the source I'm gonna take another directory which want to be constants. So we're gonna keep static data over here, should be index.ts, and we're gonna make that export const navbar list, which going to be an array, and within that array we're gonna provide some of the multiple object here, which going to be, the first one going to be the home, the link will be our home page, then the title going to be shop, the link will be the shop title, cart should be link in the cart, and other two like the dashboard, orders, and the sign in, it's gonna render according to the user. And why I'm taking that directly here, because whenever we want to put a static route here, we can easily and directly can combine it here, right? So what I'm gonna do, as we exported that one, let's go over here, and in this section I'm gonna make that navbar list, and also I'm gonna importing it at the top, you see. So now I'm gonna map with that. Also we can make that flag whenever it is available, item, and here inline return. So I'm gonna return a link flag, right? Because whenever we're gonna click on that particular things, it gonna take us somewhere. So the item dot title should be the title, should be that within that in the section, and also I'm gonna provide the key which going to be item dot title, as it's the having the unique one, and href should be item dot link. Hit save, and we will be able to see 3 data. You see the 3 data available. So now we will combine some class name for it. So put a class name. By default it going to hidden, md should be inline flex, and then item center gap should be 7. You see, if I roll back to the smaller screen, you see the both is disappear, because that time we're gonna open up our smaller icon. Okay, done. So in that link, let's put some class name over here. For the link tag, we're gonna generate one more class name in that global.css. What it going to be? It should be navbar item. Okay, and here how we're gonna combine that class name should be at apply, and we're gonna make that as a text of base, font of semi bold, and that hover text should be dark orange, and the duration going to be, and make the cursor pointer. Okay, done. So that's the class name we're gonna provide. So let's roll over here, and for that class name I'm gonna provide that neighbor item. As you see, as we provide, we're gonna home, shop, cart. That's good. So now we are having that, and after this parameter we can also combine some of the other things, like we will provide another link which going to be providing that sign in, and also for that href take us to sign in, and also for the class name we're gonna provide that. And after you see the sign in is available, and I'm gonna just copy this twice. I think not twice, I think one, it will be enough. So in the sign in we're gonna also make that our studio. It will take us to our studio. So now our header is done, but one more thing is pending. So whenever we don't want to see any other parameter this thing, we should be able to get another icon which going to be hi menu also. So that one we want to showcase. As you see, it's right here. So what I'm gonna do, put a class name which going to be inline flex. Inline flex md should be hidden, and the Tailwind CSS is working like the mobile device first. So whenever I'm saying is inline flex by mobile device, it gonna be appearing there. But whenever we wanna hit the MD screen, and what means is MD, the MD screen is started from the 768 pixel, right? So in MD it's gonna be hidden. Cursor pointer and width going to be, I think no need to provide width. I'm gonna provide text of Excel. If I go smaller screen, you see, or I think 3XL good, or 2XL, I think it'd be perfect. Okay, done. And we're gonna also make that hover effect, but whenever we are going to hover, text should be dark orange. Cool. So now we are having our header. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a little footer, then we're gonna set our studio. And to create the footer, we will take another new file in that components, which will be footer.tsx. So it will be our footer, and for that footer we're gonna keep it within our layout after that children. So it's gonna wrap everything, our like whatever we put within the body, it's gonna wrap everything by maintaining that header and footer. And for the footer, we're gonna go in a very simple way. So first we're gonna also wrap one container. So container, and within that container we're gonna just reflect our header, our footer. So I'm gonna just put a p tag should be written as footer right now, nothing else. Also in that I'm gonna go in the page. So here put a class name padding y32 just to showcase, you see, that footer. So now for the footer, for the parent div here, we're gonna provide some class name. So bj should be bj light, and padding y should be 5. You see, there is a background color and the padding parameter. So I'm gonna go within my index directory, index file here in that constants, and there I'm gonna provide a footer data. And what I'm providing here right now, as you see, I'm providing the 4 object, which is the ID, and providing the title and the list item, which also going to be an array which having the ID, list data, and this parameter. So this is the things we have. One, then we have another object with ID, title, and list item, the array of list item. So in that way I am having the 4 objects of an array. So now I have the title and I have the list item. So what I'm gonna go to in that footer, I'm gonna just, instead of wrapping everything by default, I'm gonna map through that. Okay, so it will be footer data dot map, getting the item. So it will be oops, it will be the first bracket, which is going to give us the inline return. So I'm going to return a div here, and within that div I'm going to provide an h2 tag, which going to take that item dot title to take the title, and for the key parameter I'm going to take that item dot id. As you see, we have the 4 parameter which we are trying to create. You see, that's the one. So to make implement on that, let's provide an h3 tag, put a class name, should be text should be dark orange, and within a 90% opacity, text should be LG, font should be semi bold, and margin bottom I'm going to provide a 3 margin bottom to push everything down over there. As you see, right now it's like that, but in that container we're gonna make a padding y of 10 to push everything vertically, and I'm gonna make a grid, and grid calls by default should be 1, md grid calls should be 2, and lg grid calls should be 4, and also I'm gonna provide a gap of 5. As you see, the grid is working perfectly. Now here, after that h3 title, I'm gonna take another div, and here remember I have one item, that the list item, which is an array, right? Dot map, and from this map I'm gonna take again the another item, or I can take that as a list. So here again return, I'm going to return with the link parameter so that we can go through it. So not like that, because in that list we have the list data, right? So now from there I need to go with that list dot list data, and from that list data we are going to map on that. So it will be, let's put a data. So it will be, now here I'm going to provide the link, which is going to be just individually roll that within that link parameter. So the key should be data, and I'm going to provide as a data, and also the href need to provide href for link going to be href. I think the link is not imported yet, so let's import. For right now I'm gonna just provide it through the home. Later on you can configure wherever you want to put it to be. As you see, it's now showcasing there. To make it looks a bit a better way, let's go in the class name, flex column. So keep everything pushing slowly at the bottom. As you see, good. And also I'm going to provide a gap here, so the gap should be 0.5. Okay, so now let's start spinning some of the design parameter here in the link. So put a class name, padding y should be 1, and text should be accent, and font should be medium, and hover text should be dark orange, and we're gonna make that hover effect. Okay, as you see, so that's our, I think, the footer, our header. So now we have a very good combination right now. So I'm gonna close everything. So now what we need to do, we need to go and grab another package, which is that Next Sanity. Next, what is there? Next Sanity. We're going to use that package to combine our Sanity within the project. You can also go in that Sanity documentation to read more about it, how you can combine it, how you can make it in a perfect way, because within that Next Sanity nowadays you can embed Sanity CLI directly within your project. And to start it, first we need to install, right? So let's go here and install that package, which is the Next Sanity, and we have the Sanity client and others. So let's go in the quick over there. As you see, first thing first, the manual installation npx create next app. So we are creating next app, so that's the manual setup. But for that, we don't want manual setup, we want to go with the quick start. So npx sanity at latest init, right? So that's the one to creating app, then go through that. So now we are having the app, so we can just go with that npx sanity at latest init. Okay, something wrong from the root project. So let's just go and see what's happening here. CLR clear. So I'm gonna get it again. Should be npm I next sanity, should be installing there. Let's make that package.json. Okay, fix the upstream dependency on conflicts. What is showing, okay, from the root project, but dependency is that, so we can make that because that dependency is getting the RC, so that's having the conflict. Okay, we can make it as force, so it should be force, so it will not saying that. If we having any problem, then we're gonna go and integrate that. Okay, right now within the force, we're gonna just go and install that. Now whenever we are building there, I think, let's see the documentation. It's okay, it should be having the dependency. Okay, dependency only in that sanity, not in the like that react. So okay, next dependency, it's having the depth dependency for the next, and also for, okay, next is okay. I think for the react it's going to be having the problem, or especially we no need that one. We can directly put latest within our project. So if without going that npm I next sanity, we have another component which I just showcased you earlier. So if we go in the quick start, we can directly go within that to just grabbing that sanity within our project. So you're gonna go with that. So now after writing that, okay, Y to go and proceed. And after that, now let's see how we can build sanity and embed, because previously, if you are just watching my several previous video, we used to combine another directory here, then we are pushing that sanity right like that. But right now it will not go on that. It will automatically like push everything within that without any linkage. So you're gonna see it right now. Let's just give it a time to install that packages. So now it's asking me if I can go through my previously existing project which we have been created. As you see, there is a lot of project which just to go and created that. So I don't want to go in any existing project. I want to create a new project, right? So now I need to provide the name. Should be like make that eCommerce shoppers. Enter. So now it's got the name of my project, and after getting the name, yes, I want the default data set. Okay, now creating the data set, so it will just take a bit of time, sometimes it's less or than. Would you like to add configuration files for a sanity project in this Next.js folder? So configuration file, yes, I want it to be okay. Yes, the TypeScript I want, enter. Would you like an embedded sanity studio? So that's the one you need to put yes, otherwise it gonna install a new project within your project. So I want to say yes, I want embedded sanity studio, and the route should be /studio. We can change this later. We don't want any schema, clean project with no predefined schema types. So it will be creating a new project. Yes, just keep it with the .env local. Later on we can actually configure. Okay, so now it gonna go and install all the dependency, and then it gonna install sanity vision, sanity image URL, style components, and others. Now it will take a bit of more time depending on your internet connection, but feel free to wait and see how it's going to be done. Okay, now as you see, I think there is some fail command, okay, with force legacy per dependency. I think because Sanity Studio is getting on the 18, but we have some RC, so I think that's the having the problem. So we can lower, yeah, that dependency is actually killing me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just make that dependency disappear from here. So I'm not gonna use that RC 18, and also I'm gonna make the DOM react. Okay, I'm gonna just make that both of react DOM should be in 18 because the latest one is still not featuring. So here I'm gonna just make that npm I to install everything. Okay, what is saying install, okay, npm install sanity 9 is not installed .env. We're getting that package name in the source. We are having the, so sanity is working but having some issue to install the dependency. So now we can go and I think, yeah, now we can combine. So what is saying right now, React DOM from the root project. Okay, let's see in the package. Yeah, everything is there. So now I think we will be able to go and fetch up in that app on the studio. You see we have one page. So right now we don't have a Next Sanity Studio, but right now we will make it manually. npm I Next Sanity Studio. Just feel free to in the package change, just make it in the root as 18, because for the 19 version still Sanity and not providing that feature. So npm I, and I'm gonna make again a force flag because as is already embedded. So let's go there. So Sanity, Next Sanity. Why, what's wrong there? Okay, recommended predictions disabled. Okay, it's already get the public key, so I'm gonna just keep it. Let's see here, or corresponding, I'm gonna just hit a reload my window. Okay, so the better thing is that let's go in the shopping, that the e-commerce, let's click on the studio, because as I have a route it should be getting that my page scenario here. So let's see if it's can combining here. So studio, and it's getting the tool. So if it's working, then it's fine, because see the Next Sanity is not installed yet. That's the problem. Okay, now I try again. As you see, npm I Next Sanity, I think, yeah, it's okay. Did it got it? Yeah, Next Sanity is there. So I think now it will not be having any issue. So if we go here, yeah, it got the Sanity configuration. Okay, hit reload. Let's see. Okay, so we are now within the studio. Okay, perfect. You see the Sanity? Okay, we're good to go. So what I'm gonna do to log in within my account, and I think we will enter in the Sanity Studio per regime. You see? Okay, perfect, cool. So now as you see, we have no structurable things. We need to create our style. So what I refer you just to follow, because I'm trying to use the latest one which is having with the turbo. So better if you just make it as 18, don't go with the 19 parameter, it will having a problem. So just downgrade your React and React DOM before entering installing that. That's it, otherwise having no issue. So right now what we need to do, we have one .env local. So we have our production and other parameter. I will not keep it as local. I'm gonna just directly rename it. I'm gonna keep it as my, or better keep local, no problem. So as I have my studio, in the studio we need to also combine some of the more parameter. Why? Because as you see, that's the studio. I need to combine to separate scenario. I'm gonna go in my directory here. So in that app, see, this is the folder structure for our like for this layout and page. That should go within that property. So we will go and make two different folder, which one it will be for admin. Okay, so it's going to be a dynamic route, and another, I'm going to take another folder which is going to be for the user. So now for user and admin, two will be separate. I'm gonna drag that studio within the admin directory, right? So admin going to be contain that studio, right? And the user, if I go over here, I'm gonna give that page. So as you see in the page and that layout, I'm gonna cut that, I'm gonna grab it and put that within the user. So user going to have normal regime, which is the layout and page, and admin going to have the studio functionality, right? So in both in a different segment. So once you do that, you need to configure some of the more parameter. As you see, the docs missing root, layout, and body HTML, so many things. So what I'm gonna do, okay, give it the time to just update that Visual Studio Code. Okay, so now as you see, admin contain the studio and that tool tools and others. So in that admin, we can also provide a layout so that it can also go in a very nice fashion. So I'm going to create a layout file, so which going to be layout.tsx rfce, and that layout going to be our root layout, so it should be root layout. And here we will just define that parameter as the children. Oops, should be within that children, which going to be children, and that will be react note. We're gonna wrap within that parameter. We're gonna just take an HTML and then we're gonna wrap it our children like that. So that's it. So now also in the app user resolve the fonts. Okay, so it should be defined somewhere. So that's the font. So we need to go in that layout. We will just need to, for the fonts, I think should be 2 because it's going to be a deeper down level. Okay, so it's, I think the font is resolved. For the globals also need to change the route. Okay, as you see, we are having that perfectly. If we go back to the studio, let's see if it's connected or not. Yeah, studio is compiling, so we should be able to see some good scenario also within the studio. And for the studio, we will also going to focus within that particular, that I think that globals.css. So we will import that, import globals.css. Okay, the config also, we need to change the configuration definition because we changed the route. So I'm gonna cut it, and here I'm gonna just auto import that one. Oops, it should be auto import. That's the layer. Okay, what is saying config? Okay, that's missing following the type. I think what we have here previously, sanity config. So one down. Okay, one layer digger. Okay, for the globals, I think it should work for the globals. Why it's not taking globals.css? That should work. Okay, let's just check again. So import should be, yeah, in the fonts. Okay, it's only one layer down, so .css. Don't worry, it's compiling. So compiled, and I think this time we can see something. Okay, so now we have our studio, and as soon as we have our studio, it's time to create the schema, and so that we can have so many things. So I'm gonna just unclose everything, close all. As you've seen the source, we have one sanity. You see, in the sanity we have a structure, we have .env, we have the schema types. So in that schema types, so right now we have no schema because we need to create all the schema. So here we're gonna, in the schema types on that index particularly, we're gonna get 3 schema. One should be, I'm just gonna comment, one should be the banner schema, and another should be products schema, and another should be category schema. So that 3 schema we're gonna take. So now to get that schemas to run directly here, what's wrong here? Okay, it's just reload. Okay, so here in the sanity, I'm gonna take another folder, which the name, it should be schemas. And in the schemas, first I'm gonna give a file which be banner.tsx, or I think banner.ts would be perfect, not the tsx, as it's not the component. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna define an like the schema, how our banner going to be look like. If we just go in our previous I think okay, what is the studio? Yeah, I need to define that, the studio. So in the studio, if I go in the banner, what the properties a banner should have. If I take a new banner properties, as you see, a banner has a title, subtitle, starting from description, image. So this is the scenario which a banner should have. So we need to combine that things right here. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make that export default, and we're gonna write that define type. So that's one parameter, define type, which you need to import from the Sanity. So in that, this is a function. Within that function, it will go in an object. So in that object, we need to provide the type, which the name should be a document, MENT document, and then also the name, which the providing the name as the banner name. So later on, when we're gonna write the grok query, it's gonna help with that. So the title, it should be banner. So after that, we need to define the fields, right? So in that fields, which is an array, because it's gonna combine that multiple field parameter, right? So in that field, we're gonna make that define field, right? Within that define field, we need to define whatever the parameter we should have. So name, the name should be as a title. So that's the title. Name should be property, should be there, and the title should be title. And also for the type should be a string. So the name combines the ratio of, if I just go and open again, so name is the combine of that the name which going to be whatever we write there, that's the key should be saved the name, and the title, that's the title is maxing here, so that's the title is combining, and for the type, the string for the TypeScript parameter. So in that way, we need to define all of our combinations. Like we need to define some of the setup which going to be for that fields, the define field, the title, and we need to define for the subtitle and for that number for the price starting from, because if we go back to our banner, especially if we roll back to our previous site here, and don't worry, we're gonna create the header also. As you see, that's the things also you're gonna create. So that's the thing, we have the subtitle, title, the price sections, description, and then the button parameters. So now for the description, we're gonna providing the description. For the image is the classic scenario. For the image, we have our image title, image type is the image type, and description, which is the banner image, and the validation is just providing that hotspot true, and also we are providing a preview. So with that combination, we should have a banner if we save, and also if we go in the index, and we are just going to be importing that banner from that schema banner.ts. So if we go over here, we should be able to see one banner parameter is aligning. As you see, that's our banner. If I want to add a new things within the banner, we should be able to get that. You see the title and other properties. So now we created our banner. So we should have to create 3 properties. So first, let's go with a products.ts, and then also we need to go with that category.ts. And for the product, I'm gonna just go and grab it. That will be the for the it should be for the products. And also for the category, I'm gonna explain, don't worry about that. I'm gonna explain how the thing's going to be done. So for the products, what we are doing, how our product going to be look like, what's the product should have. So the product, the name product, title product, and the type also as a document type. The fields, which is the title, name, title, and the title should be the title, type is a string, a description, keep the title relative to the product. So it's just the description to showcasing here. We're gonna show it later. The validation is the rule required. So a product should have its title, means its name. Without the name or without the title, the product should not be defined. So that's the things you need to have. So whatever we write within this title parameter, it should be the name. So the name is required for the product. Then we should have a slash. So whenever we're going to create a product, we need to define a slash. So every product should have a proper slash there available. Then we have the description. It's not available, it's not required, but it's better to have it. Image, also need to provide the image, not required. And the define field, the category is required, which you need to combine with that. Then the price also you need to provide the price, which is required. The type is number, and then the raw price also is there, but it's not required yet. And for the ratings and for the is new, which is the boolean value, we are defining the value as a boolean, which is combining with that a new arrival, the title, and the defined value for the position. We are putting the position, we are putting the brand, quantity, and for the title, the select title and media image, the position. So that's the properties for that products. And for the category is very simple. We are just having the name, title, and type. Then we are having the title, we are having the description, we are having the image. So with this combination, we should have two parameters more, which going to be getting our products and also getting our category. If we hit save, I'm gonna just remove that, which is not required. If we hit save, we should be able to see our three different criteria is available, where we can just upload the product, upload the category, upload all other parameter as is in case scenario. So we have the banner, we have the product, we have our particular category section. So before starting and uploading something, let's go and start just combining that structure for our setup. For like we want to showcase our own structure, so not like that. So what we're gonna do for that positioning, we're gonna go and grab another header here, which is going to be our studio header. So in that components, I'm gonna take a new file, which will be studio header.tsx rfce. So that studio header we're gonna combine. I'm gonna close others. Here in that sanity.config.ts, in that file, we can configure our studio parameter, like the header parameter in the core level. So as you see in the schema, we had the plugin for the schema. Then we're gonna take another string, another constant, which going to be studio, and here we can actually go and grab the studio parameter. For the navbar, we're gonna provide our studio header. Hit save. So instead of seeing their local like special header, we should be able to see our header, which we are going to create. So as you see right now, it's nothing here. I think you can see, yeah, that's the studio header. Header is there, but it's not visible, so we need to make it visible. And how we can do that? We will change the configuration and color properties and others. So that's the studio header in the div. So for that div, and in the header, it should be defining the props, because everything others is just going to come as the props. And for that parameter, the type is the sanity is maintaining. So I'm gonna just make the ts export error component props are not strictly typed, so it's okay. I'm gonna just bypass that, but it's up to you. If you want to combine it, you can do it, no problem. So here I'm gonna take a div, right? So in that div, I'm gonna provide a link. Should be link, which is the next link. And here I'm gonna make a IORETU return down back. Also put class name, make 2xl. Oops, it should be text should be 2xl. And after that, I will make that go to website. So right now also need to put an href, otherwise it gonna to error, so it will go to the /home. So what I'm gonna do, combine here, put a class name, padding should be 5. I'm gonna make a background color of not black, accent. Text should be gray of 100. Flex item center, justify between. Okay, so that's the combination. But right now, as you see, everything coming from Sanity, like the grok URL query and others, so that parameter is gone. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna keep whatever the props is going to provide from there. So props.render default, and here I'm going to provide our props. So whatever by default setup is there, as you see now, the default scenario is there, then my header is coming. So whatever the default is providing from the Sanity, it should be available there. So now let's just make that one looks better. Class name flex should be item center, and gap should be 3, and font should be semi bold, and we're gonna make hover text should be dark orange, and I'm gonna call that hover effect here. Right now, as you see, I can go back there. So after that link parameter, I'm gonna have our logo. Okay, so in that logo we can define our properties, put save. But right now we are going to have a problem. We have our logo, right? It will come very soon. After logo also, you're gonna take a p tag so that it will be available to see. So it will be admin studio for shoppers online shopping. And for that p tag, put a class name. By default it should be hidden. md should be inline flex, should be inline flex, and text should be where I have been. Okay, text should be a small text. But there is a problem. It will be because our head, that logo is already in black, but we didn't pass any combination. See, that is showing, but head, this logo is there, right? So we need to make that logo to get the default color of whatever we're gonna provide. So put a class name. Class name should be text should be white. And what we're gonna do in that logo parameter, remember, we need to provide that class name, but we are not getting any class name. So should be class name, which is going to be a string, and the class name, if is available, only then it going to reflect. So after that hidden parameter, we're gonna pass that our class name. And I believe right now after okay, should be, that should be where we are providing that logo. Okay, CLASS class name, we provide that, but why is not taking? Oh, okay, it's only one s. That's the problem. So it should be double s. As you see, shoppers, okay, if we click, it will take back to our initially the home page. Also, if we click in studio right now, we can go and see our studio setup. So let's just go and upload something from the studio so that we know how it works. So first, let's go and upload one banner. As you see the PlayStation image, we're gonna go here and get one banner. So I'm gonna go with the I'm gonna just go with the default setup. So you're gonna say title, banner, and the subtitle, it should be banner image. And starting from, I'm gonna just provide some dummy 200, and description, I'm gonna provide a lorem description. And for the image, need to upload an image. So I'm gonna go and grab that image here and put it open so I can see the image, because that one was the require. So now I can see, you can see I can publish that image. So after that, I can grab that image and showcase here. We're gonna see how we can combine that. And for the category, you can go through with the same parameter. You can just go and write your category name, what kind of category it will be there. Like I want to for like fashion. And the description, I need to provide the description I want. And for the image, you can provide your category image and then publish. So it will work in that criteria. And also for the product combination here, you need to add your product. So let's go and click. And here I need to like test product. I will just give a name. And then as you see the slug, I need to generate a new slug, which going to be a unique slug, by which, as you see, whenever we click any of the product, it's just going through with the slug, right? So that's the parameter to go in the single page. We need to grab that slug, which will be equal to the like the product name or title. And for the upload image, we can upload any image we want, save, and then we can combine the category. As we created one category, we can just add that category directly here. So as you see, the list, it will be available. If you want to create, you can also create from here. Okay, so we add it, and price, let's add to 50, and the raw price, which will be 350, because we're gonna provide the discount. The ratings, if you want to give 4.5, and put it as a new arrival, and new arrivals, brand unknown, quantity 1. If we hit publish, it will publish our particular product. So within that property, it's gonna work perfectly. Okay, what we did wrong, let's no asset found in document with image. So image having the problem. Okay, we go, and I think we can make one more thing. That image having one problem. Okay, no worries, we can take another image. We'll put a different image. Let's put that image. Open. Okay, I think that image will be okay. Hit publish. Let's see if it's it's publishing. Okay, so now we are having also our images. Okay, cool. So now as you see, we have our products. So now how we can grab that products, you see the vision tools here. So with the vision tools, we can make through the query, and then we can grab the product ratio. Like we want to get all the banner from here, right? We put a star mark, then with the parameter we're gonna provide that type, which the type we want is equal to, remember we provide the type as a banner type. So from the banner, how we want to query, I want all the banner, all the things, right? So if I fetch, it's gonna provide all the data, right? So what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna change the ratio. Like I'm gonna go in structure, and as you see the product, I'm gonna just remember I have one previous project here, which that's .env.local. I'm gonna change my project previous project structure. I'm gonna bring it, so which going to be next public sanity project ID, and this the one I'm gonna use. So production, hit save. So it's gonna change also in the .env. I'm gonna change the name, not don't want at local env. Okay, so I'm gonna just make a reload. It's already reloading, so it's gonna pour up my project data. So don't try to copy paste, it will not work for you as you have no authentication parameter for that. So as soon as I did that, my previous product, you see, is loaded. My banner is loaded. So if I go in my vision tool, and right now if I just make to go and grab to make the fetch properties to showcase all of my property, it should grab that. So for the banner, we can combine this one, like for the order ascending. If we want to fetch, you see we have 3 items for the banner, 1 2 3, with the properties of images and others. And now if we want to make that for the products, instead of that banner, remember we are providing one parameter there. Remember, if we roll back to our types, you see the okay, it's the product, so it can go through all the products. So let's fetch. It's 0, so it's not working for the sorry, it should not be the products, because remember we put the type is here is the product, the name is the product, so should be as only the product. Fetch, see we have 12 product previously, so it's already available there. A product has an image, also have a type, created at position, quantity, ID, raw price, brand, Slack, and others. So what we can do now, by having that, we can go to our website, and then we can fetch our product and showcase our product. So first thing first, we're gonna go and grab that banner section. For the banner, I'm gonna just close all other parameters. I think that also, and in the component I'm gonna take a new file named banner.tsx. rfce should be combining our banner, and in that app on that user for that pages, instead of that, I don't want to keep this one right now. I'm gonna just go and make through, because remember if you see that this is like that. So yeah, I think that we can create. So this will be our banner ratio. So instead, I think padding Y, I'm going to provide a 10, right? And here I'm going to grab my banner. It's coming. Okay, banner. It's saved. And let's go back here. You see my banner is now appearing. So in the banner, first we need to grab our data, right? So how we can grab that? In that source directory, I'm gonna take another folder, which will be my lib folder, and on that lib I'm gonna go and grab the functionality by which we can make that banner to be available. So to do that, first we're gonna make how we can do that, especially for that query. We can make in the lib, we can make query.ts. so here we're gonna pass all the queries. So what we're gonna do, import, and we're gonna import that grok from Next Sanity. So here we're gonna combine the three query which we have been showcasing you earlier. One, it will be for that banner query, which going to be using the grok, then the type, which will be the banner, getting all the banner and with the ascending property, that the products query getting all the products, and for the bestseller query, which the positioning going to be as a bestsellers, it will just get my bestseller properties. So if we just roll back and copy this, and if we go in our studio, just to showcasing you that bestseller properties is there. Okay, it's still loading. And here in the vision, if we just change the parameter and fetch from there, okay, following function argument, we forget to we forget to bring it there. Fetch, you see, we have 5 products according to the bestsellers, so we can grab that bestseller also. So that's the query which we're gonna use to grab that our banner, products and bestsellers. Also we're gonna export from here, not like that, should be export, and we're gonna export the banner query, export the products query, export the bestseller query. Okay, done. And after exporting, now we need to also combine that one function and formality. So we're gonna make that function as get data.ts. Here we will import the client from there. So it should be client, and the client from that Sanity lib client. If you come over here in the directory of Sanity, as you see in the Sanity, in the lib, on the client, we have that client configuration. Also in the images, we have that image configuration. We just need to use it. Everything is configured there, right? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna just export, like how we can write that. So if we make that, it should be, we also make that export const revalidate 0. We don't want to pass any revalidation right now. Later on we're gonna get that. So it will be get banners data, which we need to provide the async function, and here we will define whatever we're gonna get. So it will be const banners data is equal to await, and then we will get the client dot fetch, right? And from there we're gonna make that banners query. So within that query we're gonna fetch the data, and from there we're gonna return that banners data. So that will be the combination we're gonna combine there. So with that we're gonna provide a 3 layer. What one, it will be for the product data, and another it will be for the bestseller data. So we have 3 queries, 3 function for getting the banner data, getting the product data, getting the bestseller data, right? And from there we're gonna export for that get banners data, and then it will be also get products data, and then get bestsellers data. Done. So we have 3 function there. So now from the get banners data we will be able to get the banner, and for that we will call all the function and formalities in the server side. Okay, so we can make that const banners is equal to await. As we make it await, we also need to provide that parents as a string function. So it will be await and then get banners data, right? So if we put save, and if we met log here, which going to be banners, save, we should be able to see the banner. As you see, is in the server. We have a 3 banner data is already logged out. So now from that banner we can go and grab that and put in that ratio. Now we are having the data, we can put that. So go and make that one done, because we're gonna, in the next part we're gonna go and fetch the data, and we're gonna set up all the scenario and create other properties. So in this part, that's the thing, you can go and set up your studio and get the properties done. So in our next build we're gonna go and grab the other properties. So fill up that. We'll see you in next part.